Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a good day today. I'm Jenny, and if you're watching this, you have somehow found your way to WTF Homestead, where we're trying to, turn our little bit of property into a homestead to the best of our abilities, and we are learning as we go. In an effort to do all of that, we're really trying to focus on organic things, all natural things, kind of getting back, to the basics, to what God intended us, to eat and things like that. And one of the big things that I've been trying to do is to kind of look at my pantry, kind of see what I use on a regular basis and how I can make that better. So with winter coming on and it's getting cold outside, I'm in the mood for soups and stews and chilies and things like that. And so that kind of stuff has been on my mind. And then on top of all of that, you have all of the craziness that's going on in our world right now, which is just incredible. And so anything we can do to kind of boost our immune system and things like that, we're really trying to do. So one of the things that I have really wanted to do and I've never done is to make homemade bone broth. Now I've cooked, chicken before and made chicken soup, and I'll save some of that broth off and use it in later things, but I've never really made batches of chicken broth to just put up. So today I'm actually going to be making some bone broth, or actually I'm going to start it today. This is a good 24 to 36 hour thing. I'm going to try to stretch it as long as I can because the longer you cook the bones, the better. So I scored some really good grass-fed beef bones. We've got a local farm here that is raising some grass-fed beef. So I went over and picked up a bunch of bones. And I actually picked up 17 pounds, I believe is what the final tally was, of bones. So I'm going to have to do this in a few batches because I only have one pan that I can really use. I have a couple of pans I can use, but my stove is limited. I can't really get two large pots on there, and I've got a bunch of canning that I'm going to be doing also today. So I'm going to split them up into a few different videos. I'm going to be, while this is cooking, I have a bunch of steaks that I'm going to be, they're steaks. I'll explain that later. I'm going to be putting those up. I'm trying to clear out my freezer. We're going to try to buy at least a quarter of a cow, if not more than that, just to put up to have in the freezer. And we're trying our best to, like I said, to stay grass-fed, things like that. So anyway, so today I'm going to start this, and this is super easy. I've got just my bones, absolutely nothing else on them. That's all this is. And to be honest, this is my first time doing it. I don't know what these cuts are. So if I find out, I'll update with what the cuts are. But all I'm going to do is I've got my oven heated up to 450 degrees, and I'm going to put these in there. Really, the recipes that I've looked at are anywhere from 20-40 minutes all the way up to a couple of hours of roasting. So, and the longer they roast and the more color and stuff they have on them, you're going to get a much richer flavor and stuff on them. So I'm aiming at about an hour. I'm just going to kind of look at it. I'll probably go in and check them at about the 30-minute mark and maybe turn them if they need that. But otherwise, that is it for this step of it. So I'm going to put these in my oven at 450, and I will see you guys here in just a little bit, and we'll move on to the next step. Our soup bones are done. These have been in the oven for, oh gosh, it's probably been about 2.5 hours now. I've gone in about every 30 minutes and turned them over. Let me see if I can show you here what they look like. Look at that. Don't those look good? I'll tell you one thing though, they have just way smoked up my house. I didn't realize they would smoke that bad, but oh my goodness, the alarm has not gone off yet, but I'm actually surprised. So I have my roaster out. I'm just going to put these bones in here. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? All that. And this made a ton of grease in the bottom of it. I'm going to save that. that will be really, really good to fry some potatoes with or something like that. So put those in there. And then I have, I don't know, I went and I bought everything organic. I'm trying really good to make a really, really good pot of stock. So I spent the extra money and got organic carrots and celery, and they're not very big, so there's not a lot. There's probably 5 or 6 carrots here, and then probably about the same in celery. And then I have 3 onions. I'm gonna throw them in there. The papers and everything, they're full of all kinds of yummy stuff, so we need all that we can get. And then I have, I don't know, what is it, 4 bay leaves here I'm gonna throw in there. And then I'm just gonna fill it with water. Try not to make a mess. Let me get some more water. All right, I got it full, and I filled it just pretty much to the top with water. I'm gonna put a couple of teaspoons of, I've just got Himalayan sea salt. Just put some salt in there. Just don't use iodized salt. And then some pepper. So I guess the only things that I don't have in here, it should all be organic, the grass-fed. I don't know if is organic and grass-fed the same thing? I'm not really sure there, so I guess it would depend on if the grass is organic. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm trying to make this as healthy as possible. The only things I guess that weren't organic is going to be like the pepper, the bay leaves, but everything else should be pretty good. So I'm just going to put the lid on this. I've got it on high right now. So once it starts to really heat up and start boiling and things, I'm going to turn it down to where it's just a simmer. And I'll come check on it every hour or so, and I'm going to keep adding water and try to keep it as full as I can get. I want a lot. I want to try to get as much out of this as I can get. So I'll just keep doing that, and this is gonna cook for at least 24 hours, and depending on how it looks and smells and everything, I may let it go up toward 30, 32, 36 hours. Not really sure yet, but at least 24 hours. So this is it for right now. I will bring you back tomorrow about this time, and we'll check it and see where we are from there. Hey guys, we're back. Day 2. It has been pretty close to 24 hours. I really did not check the time yesterday, and I didn't go back and look at the video to see what time I ended this, but this is actually looking really good. It's cooked all night long. I haven't had to add any water to it. It's only cooked down just a little bit. So I'm gonna start dishing this up. Let's see if you can see what this looks like here. It looks incredible. I've come in a couple of times and stirred it. All the meat, what little bit of meat, there wasn't a lot on these, has come off the bones. Everything is just really well mixed together. I mean, it smells so good. So we're gonna get this in some jars and get it canned up, but hold on just a minute. I forgot one thing. Hold on. Okay, I got all this started, and I looked down. I was going to grab me a cup of a drink of my coffee, and I realized I hadn't filled my cup up. So that's what I stopped to do, was to fill up a cup of coffee. So all of you at home, you all know, or those of you that watch me regularly and those that know me, coffee is. This is what runs through my veins. I swear, I don't know how people that don't drink get along. I don't know how they do it. So if you're a coffee drinker, stop right now. Get you a cup of coffee. Just sip it. It'll calm your nerves. So anyway, cheers. Okay, I'm going to move you down here just a little bit. I'm going to strain all the stuff out of here. I just got me a big bowl, and right now I'm just going to strain the big parts out of this. I'm here by myself, so I'm going to have to do this kind of a cup at a time, so this may take me a few minutes, so I will fast forward through this so y'all don't have to sit and watch me strain. Now that I've got this all strained off, I just have all of my pieces in a bowl here. Look at this. I mean, even that looks good. It looks so good. I turn the heat off of this, and I'm gonna let it just sit for a little bit. Actually, it's got to get cooled off so that I can scrape off that fat layer off the top of it. So it's gonna be a little while. I think I may actually, it's kind of cold outside today. I think I'm going to put the lid on this and sit it outside on my porch and watch it. And I think that's going to cool off a lot faster. So I will bring you guys back when this is done. But a couple of people I noticed online said that they cook their bones twice to get the most out of them. I don't know. I'm going to do some more research. But if any of you guys have done this and made your own bone broth, let me know. What do you think? Is it a good thing to cook these twice? I mean, they're not going to go to waste. My dogs are they are waiting for this. Let me show you. So this is Artie. I'm right here. This is the stairs, and he gets up there. He's upset with me because I hollered at him because I told him he had to move and not hang over my food. So he's turned his back on me. Artie, there he is. Anyway, the bones are not going to go to waste. They are waiting on me to give them these, so I'm not worried about that. I'll use them one way or the other. But I'm just curious because I would like to get the most out of it. So let me know. What do you think? Could these be reboiled and used again? I don't know. I may actually even try it with a batch and see. I got a total of 17 pounds, I believe. It was somewhere right at 17 pounds of these bones. This was just, I was able to split it into thirds because that's really all that my little crock here would hold, and I'm trying to get the most juice out of it. Now, I've seen a few videos where people would use, 15, 20 pounds, stuff like that in one of these roasting pans, which I think probably makes an absolutely incredible beef broth. But I'm kind of trying to stretch it a little bit, so I still want a good flavor. I don't want to dilute this so much that I'm losing the flavor and losing the nutrition out of it. So, there's a fine line there. So I'm going to do a little more research. Y'all let me know too what you think. But I may just try some and just see. Even if it's a little bit more diluted, it may be good for things. I use broth for like cooking rice. I put some if I'm making noodles, things like that. If I'm doing mashed potatoes, I'll use my broth a lot just to season the water that I'm cooking it in, and then it gives that food a really good flavor. So I might be able to use it for things like that, just to have a little bit more diluted form of it. But anyway, so for now, it's this is a long process. So whenever you get started on this, just be forewarned that it's going to take you a while. I mean, it's going to take a couple of days to get it done, but I think in the end, the product is going to be so worth it. So I will bring you guys back here it'll probably be a couple hours, I'm sure, to get this cold enough where I can skim the fat off the top. So I'll see you guys back here in just a little bit. So I set my pan out here on the porch, and the dogs have just followed me. They're like, "This smells yummy, Mama." Here's Artie over here looking. I just thought that was funny. They have been all around this table since I set this out here. They know something yummy is in there, and they're just waiting. Okay, I just thought it was funny. I figured I had to share. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to strain off the fat off the top of this. I've just let it sit and get cool, and I'm just going to scrape the fat off the top of it, and then I'm just going to strain it one more time through a fine mesh sieve here, and then we'll start pouring it into the jars. And you don't have to get all of the fat off, but you want to try to get quite a bit of it off. Got a paper towel with our vinegar. Just clean the rims off real good. Same as always. And then the lids. And the rings, finger tight. I'm going to finish up the rest of this broth, and then I'll meet you at the canner. Okay, I'm at the canner. Now, all of the broth was cold, or cool, because I let it cool to scrape the fat off the top. So my water I haven't even turned it on, it's just got the water in it. I'm gonna add the rest of the vinegar to the water so that it doesn't cloud my jars. I'll turn it on high, and then I'll put the lid on. Again, always make sure your ring is good and oiled. This vent you can see daylight through, and that this one moves. As long as all those work, then you're good to go. Put my lid on. I've got it on high. As soon as this starts steaming really well, we'll come back. Okay, this has started steaming, so I'm going to put my weight on, and we're going to wait for it to start rocking. Once it starts doing a gentle rock, we'll come back and set our timer for 25 minutes. Okay, it has started rocking, so I'm going to turn my timer on for 25 minutes. And we'll be back. Now, once again, you want to make sure you regulate your temperature so that it's not jiggling too much. If it starts going too much, you want to turn your fire down, and the same the other way. Just don't let it run dry. We'll be back here in about 25 minutes. And we're back. These are done. I'll take this off. They've been sitting here for probably about 40 minutes. I turned it off when the timer went off, and then we went to eat lunch. So it's been plenty long enough. So let's get these out of here. Still kind of hot though. Still steaming there. Okay, I had to move these over to another cabinet where I had more space. Let me get my tongs so I can show you these up close. Ow. So that's it. They're still, even after all this time, they're still bubbling in the jars, which is a good sign. Okay, but I have to be completely honest here. So there is a big difference, and I know this. There is a big difference between bone broth and beef stock. Huge difference in taste. There's a huge difference. And even in the vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. Bone broth is just better for you. I have bought just bone broth before from the store, and I don't care for it, not by itself. Now, I still will add it to soups and stews and stuff like that, because you're putting other stuff in there. You're putting the meat and all that stuff in there, and so it's just giving it a little extra, nutrition and stuff in there. So, I knew that going into this. And even the lady that I bought these bones from, she even asked me, because she didn't have her usual soup bones that have a lot of meat on them and everything. So the ones I got were just the bone, had very little meat on them. And she even asked me, she said, a lot of people don't like this. Are you sure you want to? And I said, no, I knew going into it that there was a difference, but I gotta tell you. So I had to do 2 batches of these. I thought I was going to break it up into 3, but I just decided to do 2. So I did 2 batches. That first batch, which is what I recorded the first part of the video on, I tasted that and I did not like it. I mean, not at all. So I debated on, what am I going to do with this? It's all organic ingredients, and I know this is good for me. And like I said, I've bought bone broth before, so I know that I can disguise it. But I really wanted to use this in more ways than just that. So I ended up adding a little bit. I put it back on the heat, and I added some beef bouillon to it. Not much, just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of flavor, so that it still has that bone broth flavor, but it has more of a beefy flavor to it. So it's better now. I still will only use these in stews, soups, putting it in like my beans, things like that. But yeah, I just wasn't a fan. So then in the second batch, which I filmed the second half of, the part that was canning and everything, that's what you guys saw for the last half. I had a few more steaks out, some of those really tough steaks. I've got another video about me canning some steaks because they were just super, super tough, and I was trying to figure out a way to do with them. So I had 2 jars that did not seal, and I dumped those in. And then I had a couple more of those little steaks that were still raw out in the freezer. And so I cut those up and I let them cook in the second batch. And it's better. It definitely has that bone taste, but it is better. So I just wanted to, let you guys know what changes I made to it and why. I ended up doing all of these in quart jars. I had originally thought that I was going to do some in pints because we just don't cook a lot. However, after the flavor and stuff, and I knew that I was going to have to add some things to it. It's not something that I would just use as a base to something. It's gonna be in something else. So I decided I was just going to go ahead and do them in quarts because it's plenty. Like if I'm going to cook a pot of beans, or even a soup, a chili, anything like that, a quart is fine. So I went ahead and did them in my quarts. Besides that, I need to save my pint jars. I can just about everything in my pint jars anyway, just because it's just the 2 of us and a quart is usually too much. So that was why I opted to do this. But the smell of these is awesome. I mean, it has smelled like I've had a roast cooking in my house for the last 3 days. I've been working on these for 3 days. I even put the second half into the refrigerator because I wasn't really sure what step I wanted to take next because I wasn't happy with the first batch. And I don't want to discourage anybody and say not to do this. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there is a big difference. So, if it's something that you're wanting to, now if you get the soup bones that have all the meat and everything on them, they're great because you basically have kind of a combination beef and soup bones. And so it's basically beef broth, or stock. And so that, don't worry about that. This is if you're just doing the bones, that it's nothing but the bone, the fat, the marrow, all that stuff, then that's what I'm talking about here. So if that's what you want to do for nutritional purposes, they're pinging. Good. My first batch that I canned, all of them are sealed. So hopefully I won't have any issues with these either. But, so I don't want to discourage anybody from trying this. It's great for you, and this will be good in soup, stews, things like that, like I was talking about. So don't be discouraged and don't not try this because it is really, really good, and it's something I'm going to be glad to have on the pantry shelf. However, go to the store and you could buy you just bone broth and taste it, so you'll know what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't know. And try it, and you'll see what I'm talking about, the difference between bone broth and a beef stock or a beef broth. So Anyway, I am very happy with them, so don't get me wrong. I am very happy with them, and they'll be great on the pantry, and they will get used. No ifs, ands, or buts. They will definitely get used. I love that sound. But I just wanted to be completely honest with you guys and let y'all know, what my thoughts were on the end product of it, and the fact that it's all the second batch is well, I was going to say it's all organic, but it's not, since I added the steaks and stuff into it. So I guess that is right. So for the most part, it is organic. The beef is completely grass fed and everything. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you that little bit of information there, and you guys do with it as you will. But I appreciate you coming along and listening to me ramble when I go on my little tangents like this, but I kind of feel like it's something that I wish somebody would tell me, so that I had a little bit of an idea going into it, that there's a possibility of some kind of issues and things with it. So anyway, there you have it, and y'all make the decision how you want. Let me know. Let me know if you've done it before, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if there's tricks or something that I could do to change mine up a little bit and it be a little more palatable. So yeah, just let me know. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this video, and I look forward to see you in the next one. I hope you guys have an awesome day today. Bye-bye.